So we've just finished priming about 2 hours ago and just running our eye down it. We'll let Dad explain a little bit when we say straight.
Righto, so to put you guys in the pictures, when we call straight or term straight in the panel beating trade, it's your actual panel, like to be dead straight right through it. Along the car, when that car's painted and it's got the absolute mirror finish and it looks $1 million, that's when you'll see any little imperfections. So that's why now we're so fussy, because this is the beginning of the end of the job, if you like. So if we've got that perfect now, when it comes to paint, that'll be super good. So now when we've got this third rub, as we call it, a primer, we have a good look around now to see it for any bits and pieces if we're not happy, but at the moment this car looks a treat. You've got all your door edges. You want them all to be nice and flush with each other from top to bottom, not in and out and all over the shop.
So you want them to line up as well perfectly.
Yep.
And the gap's also got to be perfect from top to bottom.
So yeah, we spend a lot of time in the metal side of it to get all that real good. And now when you get to this point, it all pays off.
We've got to be real fussy with this next rub. When I rub this back, it's got to be like perfectly rubbed, so it gets that real nice finish, and that's what we're chasing, hey Pops? Yep. So if we can get this rub like perfect, the paint job is going to look absolutely trick.
That's what from very first day of a build, that's what we're chasing towards the very end day of the build.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that game plan, if you like, the job won't be any good. It'll be half good but not. So we start out with that mindset to get it correct from day dot. And that's a little bit of an insight of trying to explain to you guys how we do that and why we do it. And we'll wander around the other side, see what it looks like.
So we're just rubbing the bonnet. This is the third prime it's had too, so it's nearly ready for paint. Well, actually it's the second prime, so I'll get it. I'm just rubbing it now, and Dad's just rubbing the boot lid.
So what are you doing here, Mick? What's the deal today?
So today I've just finished marking out the holes, and so yeah, this is a bit, got to be pretty fussy with this, otherwise it'll be crooked when it goes on. So yeah, I'm just drilling them out now, and then fit it on and make sure it's fitting before it's all painted. And hopefully if my measurements are correct, it will fit. And if not...
You're fired.
And then I'll have to re-weld them up and re-drill them, but...
No, it should be right, looks good.
It's going to be right. I'll double check. You always double check, eh? Got it. Measure 3 times before you cut.
Yeah. Yep, make sure.
Otherwise, it could be no good.
But that looks like it's going to work out really well, actually.
Well, they're in it now, so there's no going back.
No, it should be right. One to go, and that's it.
Right, so now I'll sit it on and see if it'll get line up.
No, it's pretty good. Nice and accurate. Some bolts through that and bolt the bonnet scoop on.
But yeah, so the reason why I'm pre-drilling it all now is because you don't want to do it later when it's all painted.
No, that's for sure.
And if you make a mistake later, you've got to repaint everything, and yeah, it costs a lot more money.
That's it.
And that's not the way of doing anything really. Everything's got to be pre-fitted before you start spraying.
And you've got no dramas later. And not only that too, when you drill holes now, before you paint, once the painting's done, you've got that edge of the hole, it's all covered with good materials, it's not going to rust.
Yeah, it's all painted.
No, it looks like it's going to look
So
really...
you've got one lining up. Looks like we've got two. Alright, let's back onto the other.
Yeah, it's fitting in really good. Once it's all on.
Yeah, it's going to look mint, eh?
Yeah, it will.
Be a nice car to keep for myself, this one.
Yeah, yeah. No,
It'd be nice, wouldn't it, to own it?
yeah, lucky guys that own it. They'll have some fun with it and enjoy it. But, you know,
Lined up perfectly, actually.
all good, worked out.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, sweet.
Let's see if the other one's there.
So, as you guys out there can see, once that's all painted, that's going to sit on there absolutely spot on.
They look mint, so...
And I think back in some previous filming, we've shown you how we reinforced all that bonnet scoop. It was all pretty average. We beefed it all up. Well, the back of it was pretty sloppy, but not anymore. It's all good. So yeah, she fits up pretty good, Mick.
Yeah, so far.
Yeah, sweet. All good. All right, so that's a little insight into fitting a bonnet scoop.
But yeah, that's going to look absolutely sick when that's all painted. I've got to add a little bit of glass to the front of the bonnet through here because I'm not happy with it, just the way how it fits. And I don't want to put too much pressure bolting it down. What's it like? Coming up right?
Yeah, good. It's coming up really good for first rub. That'll be real crisp as when it's finished. And no distortion. That's because we glued the skin back onto the frame, how it should have been before. When you pushed on this, it was all donk, donk, donk. But now she's, as you can see, nice and solid. That'll never move.
Yeah, no, it's looking good.
Last for years.
Starting to come up straight.
Yeah, real good. Really straight, actually. Real good.
So yeah, that's that. Now the next thing will be glass it up. Alright guys, I just wasn't happy how it sat on, and like when it tightened down, it was pulling the metal too much on the bonnet. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to fiberglass this edge, and I'm going to get a bit more of an edge on there, lift it up probably 2 or 3 mil. So I'll just put another, probably 2 or 3 coats of fiberglass on there and build that up, and then it should fit really good. So I've just finished putting the glass on the end, built it up. Hopefully I'll get a real good build up with that, and then sand it all back down. And that's going to make that fit really nice. So just explain a little bit how to rub it straight.
Alright, so the principle of it all is, when you're rubbing away, people just think, oh, you're just rubbing the panel, but you're not. You're actually, what you're doing is straightening the panel and you're shaping it at the same time. So all panels predominantly have bits of waves, some more than others. And this old girl, because all the skins were loose on the frames, it's pretty sloppy. So we've tightened all that up, straightened it up, and now this process here is the priming. And we've gone through about 2 coats so far to get it straight. So first application, first prime, you rub it down, get it pretty good. Next one starts to get it nicer, and we like to give it a final one, the third coat, because then you've got enough material on to actually cut it straight. But as I say, we're not just rubbing a panel for the sake of it, we're shaping it and we're straightening it at the same time. So, you can rub all directions to get it right, and you've got to be fully mindful all the time and concentrate on what you're trying to achieve in the end.
So why do you rub all different directions?
Well, you'll go this way and you'll feel it okay that way, and then you can rub it across the panel and it won't feel as good. So that's why we go in all directions. So when it's finished, doesn't matter which angle you look at that panel when it's finished, it'll look straight, no distortion, no waviness, and it takes time and patience. That's why we do what we do with this.
And then at the end, guys, when you see these cars painted, you'll just completely appreciate a nice straight paint job. So that's why you rub it with a rubbing block to get that real nice straight finish.
Hours and hours and days of
rubbing.
It's funny, when you do a rest day, you go through all different stages. Some parts of the job progress quick, then you'll get to the next stage, you'll think, bloody hell, does this ever come to an end? And then it changes and you're going to the next phase, and it'll move along again, and then all of a sudden you're at the end of the job.
Yeah, but some serious time can go into these cars.
Oh, weeks and weeks into it.
People don't really appreciate these cars until you see what's gone into them.
This particular boot lid runs a little bit uphill and then it dips up a little bit at the front. So I'm doing 3 sort of, how would you say, shapes at the same time in this panel. And it takes a lot of concentration to now get this really good, because what we get here now is actually the end result when this thing's painted. So now is when you have to spend a lot of time, be very meticulous. Not that we haven't been all the way, but this is the real super fussy part now towards the finish. So we get this really correct now. Once that's painted, that panel will look absolutely spot on. And that's what we want to get out of this. But yeah, this process here now, very meticulous.